Hi, gorgeous. Thank you so much for chatting to me today. How was your workshop, the menopause and meditation workshop? How was it for you?
It was quite amazing, very revealing. I have to say I was quite nervous before I went there. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know whether I'd have to talk about myself and my own experiences in front of people I didn't know. It turned out that there were about 10 people there, I think. But what I discovered was much more than anything that I thought of. And it was quite, as well as all the Pilates and the food and the information that you gave over, it was quite a spiritual experience for me, as well as everything else. So it was very informative. But the meditation in particular was a bit of a journey for me, I have to say. I've never done that before. And I found it very uplifting and really, really positive. So thank you very much.
Uplifting and positive. Oh, that's wonderful. And you are quite, you've got your own business, haven't you? So you've got your foot in both camps. You know, you've got that business mind, yes, where you own your own business. You've also got your own staff, but you're also very creative.
Yeah. I find, well, for me, the two things sometimes conflict themselves quite easily in the world of business. I don't think of myself as a business person. I just want to get things done, and I want to help people, and I want to run a service. So I don't think I've got much of a business head. I just like to be quite efficient if I can, and to use my creativity to help people and to give a service of my own. So yeah, I muddle through. I'm not that organised, really.
Yeah, but that's really interesting, because you say you muddle through, but how long have you been running your business?
Well, nearly 15 years, but I was running it for somebody else for 11 years before that. So,
but that's how everybody starts, though, isn't it? They do it for somebody else. Yeah, you're not muddling through. You're doing well.
Thank you very much. It's nice to
So you found the meditation useful. I'm really pleased to hear that. In what way? I know I don't want you to go too personal, but how did you find it? How did you enjoy it? Why did you enjoy it so much?
I think what came across more than anything else was allowing myself to trust you and to listen to your words. And I felt quite a bit nervous at first, but we have sort of touched briefly on meditation in the Pilates classes, which I really enjoyed. And I just listened to you, and I let myself go. I didn't really know where. I was just open, really. I didn't know where it was going at first. It was very physical and just concentrating on all the different parts of my body. But what came across was quite a surprise to me, that I really did properly let myself go. And I started seeing things while I was lying still. I started seeing all sorts of different colours and people that I knew, and I felt very much like there was a lot of love in the room. I felt very safe and warm, and I felt it was almost like a liberation. It was really beautiful. So I don't know, I've never experienced that before. I felt very elated afterwards and in a really good space.
Well, it's such a pleasure to hear you say that you felt safe.
Yes.
Because that's the most...
You are such a positive, warm person that I felt very much like I was in safe hands, and all the information that you've given us, I can't remember whether it was before or after, but you were so informative on so many different levels, with all the nutrition advice and the sort of symptom advice about the menopause, which is actually quite scary when you haven't really talked to anybody much before. A lot of my friends are much younger than me, and they don't necessarily understand any of it, or they might listen to me, but they don't have their experiences. So sharing everything with a group of people, including yourself, was really quite it was an affirmation of things that I had experienced but didn't really realise. So it was very, very uplifting and very confirming. Affirming, I don't know whether that's
Yeah,
right.
no, that's good. They're great words. So you found the nutritional advice helpful?
Yes, I mean, I've been trying to learn things. I've been trying to read books. I've been trying to do my own thing, and you provided a lot of information about biochemistry, about the symptoms of like physical symptoms, mental symptoms, and so many of those things were things that I have experienced, but didn't actually realise that that was part of the menopause. So it made me feel relief that I was normal and not actually losing my mind and my body. It was just such a, it's very difficult for me to get across to you how many different aspects were very positive, and I felt really quite excited afterwards.
Good. That's really, so you went into the journey. No, it's brilliant. It's brilliant because you went into the journey nervous,
Yeah.
and you came out of it with lots. So, I mean, that for somebody that has never attended any of my events, that's going to be really interesting because, you know, you've been so honest and so open. So would you say that the day was good value for money, including the chats that we've had before, the chat afterwards, the food? What did you think of the food?
I absolutely love the food.
Oh yeah, you did. Yeah.
I've actually since I had those power balls, I tried to find, because you had all the ingredients there and you showed them to us. There's lots and lots of information, which I found quite difficult to keep up with the amount of information that was coming. But so I did write down some of the ingredients, but then I looked up online about the power balls, and I've actually got all the ingredients now, and I'm going to make some today. I love them.
Good.
And I really liked the sort of main course with the quinoa. That was really yummy. I wasn't sure about the seedy thing. I didn't really like
chia
that.
seeds. The chia seed pudding.
Yeah, I didn't like that. The flavour was nice, but I wasn't sure about the texture, so I don't think that was any. Like, it was just everything was lovingly made and really nicely presented and really yummy. And also, I've started having quite a lot of the fruit teas and more healthy things rather than less alcohol.
Excellent.
Which I enjoy a lot.
Well, I always
chamomile too.
Well, it creates a different type of cycle, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
You
And it's kind of
yourself.
almost letting go of like my wild way of drinking and enjoying people and being very what's the word? I can't think of words today. But very sociable, and I like parties and all sort of thing. And I'm starting to realise I need to calm down a little bit and just sort of give myself more time. And this is another thing that came across during this. It was an education, you know. I've learned to really try to look after myself a lot more than I have been doing.
Well, that is incredible, considering you got that from one day.
I think also the phone call that we had before the event and the homework that we had to do with the affirmation, I found that really interesting, and I used it and I did it quite a lot before the event, and also trying to think. It was just really interesting trying to think of things that had been like a blissful moment as well. Trying to think of things like that was actually quite difficult, but I did eventually come, after quite a few days, I came up with some really lovely events that I remembered in my life. Of course, there were loads, but what came across in the meditation was that things that I'd completely forgotten about came smacked into my head. Beautiful, beautiful occasions, which were really simple, like you said, like just coming from outside in the cold into the warmth, and or sitting in front of a fire. So really simple, basic, wonderful things. So the work that we did beforehand, and also this, it was really interesting and clever. I thought how you did it, how you sort of brought me into that whole workshop day, and with your care and attention, you kind of followed it right through. I felt like you were really thoughtful and very trustworthy, but through your positivity and your interesting things that you've shared with us. I thought the whole thing was amazing, so thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to leave it on that high. That's brilliant.
I have to say, but I know we're limited with time. So
no, it's fine.